Hello world, and welcome to the Friday Furtado show. I'm your host, Coach Furtado, Justin Furtado, where I share my experience about, being a young coach, young leader, and I pass that on. And what better topic to talk about than the art of coaching? And so, I have been coaching now for about 3 years, and I've really been kind of seriously doing it for the past year because I'm really, recognized that a lot of my natural strengths and talents have taken me down this route. So boom, we taken it, we running with it. And with that being said, I am kind of coming to the realization of the art of coaching, right? And I had a conversation with someone yesterday that I actually went to high school with. Actually, he's a few years older than me, and he's doing assistant coaching and kind of talking about the art of coaching. And really, I want to kind of touch on motivating people, right? Because there's not a science behind it. You can gather a lot of data. There is science behind different things of how you train someone, how you do it properly. The tactical and technical things of each sport. And that's even applicable across sports as well. But the art of coaching comes down to this. What I really experienced last night, and I'm not someone that's naturally very tough on people, right? I'm more of probably the positive, more of probably the good cop is probably what I naturally play. But sometimes as a coach, you got to come in and be the bad cop. And I had an experience yesterday where there's almost a difference of opinion of how this player should be playing. I believe I'm maybe a little more traditional. This player's built more like a big man, and they want to play like a guard. Essentially, for those of you that don't know, they just want to bring the ball up. And when you're taller, it's harder to bring the ball up. You just don't have the physical body to do it. And everyone wants to shoot and be Steph Curry, and it's not just him. And these are problems within other people as well. And he's a really good kid. He's a really good kid. But after, I was hard on him. I was like, if you want to bring the ball up, you need to facilitate the ball. I'm a little more traditional, Steve Nash, and some of these, kids want to be like Kyrie Irving or Luka Doncic. And if you don't know who they are, they have very magical handles. They're able to get to the basket with ease and hold the ball a lot. And right. And those are these players' heroes, right? Guys or girls, and not necessarily always team players. And that comes from social media. They're not necessarily watching full games anymore. They're watching clips, and they're watching clips of the best things, and they're not seeing kind of a lot of what the game goes into. And I can even think back to when I was he's probably middle school, 8th grade, frosh something, and at that age you're just young, you don't understand the full game. It took me a little bit, and honestly, as I've been a coach, I've understand the game a little bit more. And so, needless to say, the art of coaching, right? He almost, when I pulled him aside, because I always try and pull people to the side that I'm really hard on at practice to just be like, hey man, I just want to let you know I care about you, right? Because the reason I'm doing this is because I'm care about your development. And so he was just like, I don't know, coach, I don't know. I was trying to ask him, empower him, what do you think? And a lot of times, they don't get asked that. And I wasn't even trying to put him on the spot or nothing. So I think, sometimes, you're going to make mistakes as coaches. And, I was talking about the art, right? Sometimes you're going to mess the art up. And I do that every practice. And it's because I try something new, or, I try a new tactic, a new motivational technique. Or sometimes I'm like, I should have done this drill or played with less people. And so, always messing up the art a little bit. And just like the kids are, just like most players are. And so, with that, I really believe in learning from that, right? I think, I'm learning about what went well, what to improve on, what I learned about myself. I'm learning that in a book about, kind of a championship mindset and being able to recognize that I am doing some things well. Of course, I'm not going to get totally mad about myself and throw it. I come in, I bring, the intensity, and I coach, the advanced older kids different than I coach the new 4 to 5 year olds. And I just have a different expectation. And maybe, sometimes that's got to be more clear. Maybe they don't know. And it's hard because, I'm not necessarily, this isn't like a team I'm coaching. It's like every hour, they got different coaches every Tuesday, Thursday, and they got, their private coach that's probably telling them something different in their ear that they're working on him being a guard because, he might end up not growing anymore and having to kind of turn more into a guard. So I hear that. And kids just get confused because they have so many people in their ears. They're seeing different things online, and I'm not necessarily always over there and coaching them. And it's so it's that art, right? It's how do I balance that? How do I have those conversations? How do I navigate having, 60 to 70 kids that I got to know their names? I got to try and know their motivations, right? It's going to be challenging. It's like literally not physically possible unless I like spent, all until midnight, going through and talking to each kid. And so it's not realistic. And with that being said, you're going to make mistakes because you're not going to know them. But then you got to learn from those mistakes. That's one thing that, another coach said the other day is, they were making simple mistakes. Like I wanted them to line up in a certain spot and they kept not doing it. That's a mistake that you can fix. Now, with like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone with how fast you dribble or, doing a certain new drill, like I'm cool with those mistakes, but it's those mistakes that, that you keep doing. That's not part of art. That's science, right? That's like, are you listening or not? But, needless to say, developing players, developing teams, there's an art to it, and I'm learning the art. And I feel like I have the natural skills because I love people. I care so much, and I feel like a fundamental glue to building a good team is to know, build something and building towards a common goal. But I am, I'm finally moving forward a little bit. This fall I'll be coaching for the first time really competitively frosh off at Venice High School. And I've coached, rec ball and you want to win, but it's going to be a little different, right? So I think that's going to be a lot of fun for me. I'm going to have to navigate, some parent dynamics, some challenging situations maybe within, the own team and, who knows? Right? Who knows? So who knows what the journey will bring me. So I appreciate y'all for listening to this. I'm curious, what to listen about, if you connect with me, if you're not in the coaching industry or, if you are, I'd love to hear it. What's the art of working with kids? What's the art of being able to find out what motivates them? I think that is a real talent and skill that I'm trying to develop because the art, I want to get the most out of my players, not like squeezing like an orange juice, but because I love them, because I care about them. I want them to be their best. I want them to be their best for their teammates. I want them to be their best for their families, for their future selves. So, it's an art, baby. Yep. Have a great weekend. Coach Furtado out. Comment, like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Make sure to do that. But yeah, let's go Rams, baby. Whose house? Rams house. Cute. See ya. I don't know why I did that.